This is a continuation of the previous hearing. The quorum established last hearing stands. The chair, however, acknowledges the presence of our senators and representatives here today. May we invite Secretary Castriciones to take the seat in front. Good morning, sir. The appointee is reminded that he is still under oath.
Good morning, Madam, and all the members of the Honorable Commission.
The Committee on Agrarian Reform held a hearing on March 21, 2018, during the second regular session of the 17th Congress to deliberate on the ad interim appointment of Mr. John Roalo Castriciones as Secretary, Department of Agrarian Reform. The Chair, Majority Leader Albano III, Representatives Almario, Gatchalian, Ocampo, and Senators Hontiveros, Villar, Lacson, and Ejercito directed questions and queries to the appointee. The questions and queries touched on the budget of the Department of Agrarian Reform, including the budget for land acquisition and distribution, the budget of the National Irrigation Administration, and the Free Irrigation Act, as well as the challenges facing the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program. The appointee was also asked about his past affiliations as National Chairman of the Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte National Executive Coordinating Council. The deliberations likewise focused on questions concerning the relevance of the Department of Agrarian Reform, the Lapanday issue, the alleged inaccessibility and inaction of the Secretary in certain issues, the Agri-Agra law, the proposed transfer of DAR offices to other parts of the country, food security, the allocation of funds for promotion and educational campaign, issues on CARPER in general, and CLOA and conversions in particular. Pending agrarian reform cases, the issue with Secretary Sueño of the DILG involving the Rosenbauer fire trucks, notice of disallowance issued by the COA during the appointment stint as director, DOTR, and the alleged lack of qualification and experience of the appointee as Secretary of the Department of Agrarian Reform. The committee received the sworn oppositions of Mr. Leonardo Montemayor, Maria Antonia Pascual, Mr. Ferdinand Gaite last Friday. An additional sworn opposition was filed by KLV Baladad on the ad interim appointment of Secretary Castriciones. Also, the Secretariat received a letter request from Mr. Rodolfo Valenciano relative to the confirmation of the ad interim appointment of Mr. John Roalo Castriciones as Secretary of the Department of Agrarian Reform. Meanwhile, the appointee submitted his reply to the sworn oppositions of Mr. Leonardo Montemayor and Ms. Antonia Pascual. Yesterday, May 28, 2018, late in the afternoon, the appointee submitted his reply to the sworn oppositions of Ms. Antonia Pascual, Mr. Ferdinand Gaite, and the letter of Mr. Rodolfo Valenciano. He also submitted additional documents relative to his ad interim appointment as Secretary of Agrarian Reform. Furthermore, the Secretariat received endorsements to the confirmation of the ad interim appointment as Secretary of the Department of Agrarian Reform from the following. Number 1, Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines, Incorporated. 2, officials and employees of the Department of Agrarian Reform, Provincial Office in Tarlac. Number 3, NUSAL, Original Farmers Beneficiaries Association, Victoria City. Number 4, Vizcaya Agrarian Reform Cooperative, Negros Occidental. Number 5, Hacienderos Agrarian Reform Cooperative, Bago City, Negros Occidental. And 6, Provincial Agrarian Reform Coordinating Committee and different agrarian reform beneficiary organizations, Nueva Vizcaya. And 7, Department of Agrarian Reform employees from different regions. 8, Climate Change Congress of the Philippines, Incorporated. The Secretariat disseminated the above-mentioned documents to the members. The oppositors have been duly notified of today's meeting. They are present here today. Antonia Pascual, Ferdinand Gaite, Leonardo Montemayor, and KLV Baladad are present here today. As moved, the members agreed to suspend the meeting and assembled in an executive session. No recommendation has yet been adopted on the confirmation of the ad interim appointment of Mr. John Roalo Castriciones as Secretary, Department of Agrarian Reform. In the meantime, I would like to know if there are senators who have questions, interpellations for Mr. Castriciones today. May I recognize Senator Risa, perhaps? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning, Sir Castriciones. May I also manifest, Madam Chair, that I was among the materials that have been furnished us for this morning's continuation of hearing is an opposition to the confirmation of ad interim appointment of Attorney John Roalo Castriciones as DAR Secretary from affiant Alex Zardo J. Maikom, received by the Commission on Appointments, Databank and Library Service 29th May, today, so 9:10 this morning. So this would seem, Madam Chair, to be an additional opposition in addition to what the Madam Chair has just told the committee. And of course, Madam Chair, there is a reiteration of opposition to the confirmation of Attorney John Castriciones as DAR Secretary, a reiteration by Tomasito S. Villarin, the first affiant that our committee heard, and this reiteration also dated May 29th, 9:10 this morning, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, do we have new oppositors present
Yes, we do. We do. We
opposing
have actually 4.
Secretary Castañores? And the proper procedures, may we call them now?
Okay. The chair would first like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Zubiri. Good morning, sir. Okay, we shall begin perhaps with the first on our list here, Ms. Antonia Pascual.
May we call all the oppositors first and
All of
Mr. Madam Chair, so they can take their oath?
Okay, may I call on, as mentioned, Ms. Pascual, Mr. Gaite, Mr. Montemayor, and Ms. Baladad. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Almario. Good morning, sir. Oh. Happy birthday, sir. Okay, may we ask the oppositors to please stand up so we... Okay, may I ask the Secretary to please administer the oath?
Kindly raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding, so help you God?
I do.
Madam Chair, they are now all under oath.
May we begin with Ms. Pascual, ma'am? May we request the oppositors to please be very concise with your presentations today because we have limited time. Go straight to the point so that you can make a better impact that way. Ms. Pascual, please go ahead.
Madam Chair, to the members of the honorable members of the Committee on Appointments, good morning. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to air our side and discuss the reasons for this opposition. First, he is not qualified and lacks the 5-year experience. He is not an agrarian reform advocate, nor he is a practitioner specializing in agrarian reform cases. In all the years that the REA had struggled to help implement agrarian reform to extend the life of agrarian reform law, we never heard, seen, or been with the Secretary in all the coalition buildings, fora, conferences, marches, lobbying in Congress. Also, he is not a practitioner of agrarian reform. The cases in Darab and Bala would attest to it. He is not a known lawyer of an agrarian reform beneficiary or agrarian reform organization. Second, his style of leadership is not suited to DAR, whose main clientele are farmer beneficiaries, people's organizations, civil societies, at kasama na rin po ang mga kawani ng DAR. It is more suited in DILG and or DND, where his military mindset can find acceptance. He uses suppression, oppression, intimidation, harassment, union busting. Pagkatapos po ng rally namin, our peaceful noontime rally noong April 16, sunod-sunod na po ang mga kaso na inihain niya sa mga union leaders. His military mindset has divided the bureaucracy and he created an atmosphere of so much fear. Number 3, he violated the anti-red tape and Section 5A of RA 6713, or the Code of Ethics for Public Officials and Employees, by not responding to all the letters sent to him to the office of the secretary. He has not responded to them, pero ang ginawa po niya sa amin ay harassment, union busting. Ang buong bureaucracia po ay natatakot sa ngayon. And ako po bilang National President of the DAREA na may 98 chapters sa buong kapulungan at almost 8,000 members ay nakikiusap. Ako ay nagsusumamo sa members ng Committee on Appointments to tingnan po yung kalagayan namin, and we really oppose the confirmation of Attorney Chan Castriciones as STAR Secretary. Maraming salamat po.
Noted. Thank you for your manifestations. Senator Risa.
Also in the interest of time, Madam Chair, but just one follow-up question therefore. Ms. Pascual, yung pong hinanin yung mga issue, yung walang karanasan, di umano ni Attorney Castriciones, yung tinukoy ninyong style of leadership nila, yung di umano ipaglabag nila sa Code of Ethics, ay sa iba't ibang degree na nabanggit na rin nung naunang hearing. Pero merong isang bagay na gusto kong itanong sa inyo na para ma-confirm ninyo, totoo po ba na sila pa lang yung kauna-unahang DAR Secretary appointee at matagal na po tayong magkakilala sa laban para sa CARPER, yung kasalukuyang batas sa agrarian reform. Pero sila, si Attorney Castriciones, yung kauna-unahang appointee na hindi sinuportahan ng DAREA or walang manifestation of support mula sa DAR Employees Association. At kung tama po ang pagkaalala ko, gaano po kahalaga yon bilang isang tanda ng no confidence sa isang appointee?
Totoo po yan, Ma'am Risa. Alam niyo naman po na magkasama na tayo ni na Senator Honasan and all the CARP advocates noong yung passage po ng 9700 kasama mga bishops sa pag-hunger strike at sa Umedit. Nakita po namin yung kawalan ng qualification niya, experience, lack of experience, at hindi po niya kinakatawan yung tamang he is unfit to be the DAR Secretary. Kaya po kami sa nagdaan, marami na pong secretary na na-appoint, secretaries come and go, but this is the first time that we are opposing the ad interim of a secretary.
Ms. Pascual, you belong to the Department of Agrarian Reform Employees Association.
Yes, Madam
So you
Chair.
work in the DAR, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Madam.
Pero meron naman mga ibang organisasyon pa sa DAR. Hindi lang naman kayo, di ba?
Meron po yung tinatawag sa co-op, meron po yung DARLA, meron din
DAR na. Okay po.
yes, DAR.
Hindi, maraming salamat po for clarifying. Okay, let's go to the next oppositor. If you can limit it to 5 minutes, that would be wonderful. Anyway, there will be follow-up questions. The next is Mr. Gaite. I think you're from Courage, sir?
Opo, Pambansang Pangulo po ng Courage. Isang magandang umaga sa ating kagalang-galang na mga kinatawan ng Kongreso, lalo kay Senator Grace po. Maikli lang po ang aming pahayag. At tulad ho ng nabanggit ni Antonio Pascual, Pangulo ng Union sa DREA, the sole and exclusive negotiating agent, which is the DAR Employees Association is also affiliated with Courage. We also oppose the confirmation of Attorney John Roalo Castricciones. In behalf of Courage and its affiliate members, we formally filed our opposition. We believe that Mr. Castricciones is neither fit nor qualified for the said position. He assumed the position for the past few months since January, but unfortunately, since December. But he has already exhibited acts which are inimical to the interest of the employees of the client that he is supposed to serve and the government workers in general. We oppose the confirmation on 3 grounds. First, harassment of union officers and members, union staff and other employees, which I was actually witness to. Number 2, failure to respond or act on formal letters of the REA. And third, interference on the union. On the first ground, other than the complaints filed by the REA, the undersigned and members of Courage directly witnessed the harassment against the union by Attorney Castricciones on April 16 during a peaceful noontime activity of the DREA inside the premises of the DAR. Attorney Castricciones ordered the office's numerous security personnel and guards, including several armed members of the Philippine National Police, to harass the employees. They prevented Ms. Pascual from using the sound system, took pictures of the activity, literally padlocked the various gates to prevent employees from joining the said activity, which is actually a violation of the fire code. You cannot padlock the exits during office hours. Attorney Castricciones, instead of formally answering the previous letters of the REA, as we'll explain later, eventually confronted Ms. Pascual and berated her in front of the employees, which I witnessed. In addition, on April 19, we'd just like to point out that the approved CNA, Collective Negotiations Agreement, between management and the REA, they also prevented the entry of the staff of the union, which is also located inside the compound of the REA at the Elliptical Road, which is a violation of the recently ratified ILO Convention, the ILO Convention number 151, which states that facilities shall be, by the way, this was ratified by the Senate last year. Facilities shall be afforded to the representatives of recognized public employees organizations, such as the REA, as may be appropriate in order to enable them to carry out their functions promptly and efficiently, both during and outside their work hours of work, Part 3, Article 6 of the ILO Convention. Therefore, the necessary staff for the administration of these facilities are therefore also necessary. Dahil pinrevent pagpasok ng staff, naantala ang pagbibigay ng serbisyo sa kanilang mga kasapian na umaabot ng halos 10,000. It has failed, Attorney Castricciones failed to answer in 6 instances as indicated by the opposition of Ms. Nanette Pascual regarding issues on promotion, representation, collective negotiations between the management and union. This is in violation, again, of RA 6713, the Code of Conduct and Public and Ethical Standards for Public Employees and Officials. Also a violation of Anti-Red Tape Act and the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Failure to address such letters and unilateral acts by management in violation, again, of the CNA caused much concern for the employees on matters regarding the ongoing placement and promotion and other issues. And lastly, interference on the union. On April 20, 2018, through a press release, Attorney Castricciones questioned the financial records of the DREA under the leadership of Ms. Pascual. Management has no right to raise these questions against the union, cast baseless accusations of corruption, and speaks clearly of union interference. The DREA and its duly elected officers clearly have the mandate of the rank and file employees. So we believe all these actions are all interference on the union. Unless he can prove that the union and Ms. Pascual do not have the support of the rank and file employees, then now more than ever, should Attorney Castriciones be prevented from being confirmed as Secretary of the DAR. If he cannot be trusted to responsibly manage the DAR, respect the rights of employees who have long served the agency and the farmers, and treat the union with decency, then it would not be responsible to say that he cannot also function to treat our landless peasants with the same standards. Thank you, and good morning.
Okay, we'll go to the next one. Mr. Montemayor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman and distinguished members of the committee. First of all, Madam Chair, I'd like to give a very brief background there. My organization, the Federation of Free Farmers, which opposes the confirmation, has been in existence for the past 65 years. We have participated in the crafting of legislation since the time of President Magsaysay up to the present, as well as in the implementation of the program.
You were part of that.
Yeah, I was a major author of...
Are you affiliated with both Mr. Gaite and
No, we have no organizational affiliation whatsoever. Magkaiba po kami. Ang samahan po namin in 1994 was a recipient of the Presidential Golden Plough Award from President Ramos for outstanding contributions to agrarian reform in the Philippines. My late father, who was the founder, Jeremias Montemayor, in 1999 also received the Presidential Golden Plough Award from President Estrada. So I myself was a fourth-term member of Congress representing farmers. I became a vice chairman as well as chairman of the Committee on Agrarian Reform. Subsequently, I was the first secretary of GMA for Agriculture. Yes, in 2001 and 2002. Now, going now, Madam Chair, to our opposition, Your Honors, kumbaga sa basketball tayo, we are now in the finals, whether it's PBA or NBA. Pangaan or Manny Pangilinan or even Manny Pacquiao, and you own a basketball team in the finals, you don't suddenly change the coach, the head coach, and appoint a neophyte, walang karanasan po sa pagpo-coach, at on-the-job training. Finals na po ito eh. So similarly, in the case of agrarian reform, CARP, we are in the last stages of the program. So dapat yung pinakapambato po ang ilalagay po, hindi po yung training. Yan po ay insulto po sa amin, mga magsasaka, na matagal na pong naghahanap ng kalutasan ng aming problema. Pawis, salapi, dugo at buhay na po ang ginugol po ng ating mga magsasaka from way back. Now, if you apply as a head coach, again to stretch my example, you interview him. Ano yung background, curriculum vitae? Yan po yung nasa batas, Section 50 po ng Republic Act 6389, which amended the Republic Act 1344. What's your background? Did you coach a high school, kahit girls team man lamang o men's team? Did you coach in college? Did you ever get a
Kasi man
championship?
lamang yung girls.
Wala po kami
Baka mas mahirap pa
eh.
nga mag-coach pag girls kasi girls have very strong
Kaya,
opinions.
it's either girls or boys. But the point is, may background ba? Nagsabit pa po siya ng background sa kanyang curriculum vitae. May mga seminars po siyang dinaluhan kaugnay sa agrarian reform and related fields. Does he have any research articles, opinions, or position papers in the past relating to show that may background at may karanasan? Which are precisely what the Commission is tasked by the Constitution to look into. Kami po, with our limited means, wala po kami makita-kita. I suppose the Commission will have all the technical resources to determine whether he's suitable.
Sir,
Sa
sir,
submission
with
po
all
ni-
due respect, please don't lecture us. Just
I'm sorry
proceed
po
to the
if I
point
made
of your
that-
objection.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
I
thank you.
apologize, Your Honor. I apologize. Doon po sa sinabit ni Secretary Casichones, reply niya po sa aking position, he cited that he was a co-founder, secretary, counsel to Biyayang Bukid Party List. We scrutinized, Madam Chair, the papers submitted in the reply, Constitution and Bylaws of Biyayang Bukid. No reference at all to agrarian reform. We scrutinized the social program, the cultural program of Biyayang Bukid Party List. Again, no mention of agrarian reform. The only reference to agrarian reform in the submission of Secretary Casichones is a one-line statement in the Articles of Incorporation which states promoting agrarian reform. It's a matter of statement. It does not prove anything. So, ganun po kalipis ang nakita namin na background. Darab cases, he only refers to a couple. We don't even know what are those Darab cases. Okay? And then he comes from a farmer's family. Again, it doesn't prove anything. I come from a farmer's family. It doesn't prove that I have experience in agrarian reform. I know the problems, agrarian disputes, conversion issues, and so on. Wala pong laman eh. Coaching philosophy. Are you a coach that favors dribble drive offense, motion defense? Hindi po namin makita.
Secretary Montemayor, basically your point is his lack of experience and expertise in that particular
Yes,
area.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now,
Okay.
just
Any
two
more substantial inaction or action of the candidate?
Yeah, every secretary, within, I would say, the first or second month, meron na po siyang policy agenda listing the priorities. In my term as DA Secretary, within a week of my appointment, I was asked to submit to the Cabinet a 10-point policy agenda. Until now, we have not seen any such policy or priority agenda from Secretary Casichones. Last 2 points, Madam Chair. First thing that you do, you're a new secretary, hindi ka kilala, you call on the major stakeholders. You're the head coach, you call the team staff, you call the players, you call the fans, etc. Wala po eh. Secretary of Labor, you call the labor groups, you call ECOP, you call PCCI. We invited him to our convention, 3 days. No reply. He claims that he was in another activity in Kalinga, and therefore he could not attend. But please note, Madam Chair, in the letter of Director Aison of Cordillera Region, March 29 po yung sulat. Ang invitation po namin, February 19. If he really wanted to meet with us, he could probably have postponed that Kalinga event or asked that he meet with us earlier. He had 2 months to do so eh. Pinasa po sa isang direktor. Kaibigan naman po namin si Director Leandro Caimo, pero ito po yung hinarap niya. Kaya nung nangyari po yun, noong April 13, ang sabi ng aming mga delegado kay Director Caimo, iparating mo kay Secretary kung hindi namin siya makausap, doon na kami makikita sa CA. So siguro medyo na sila. So his secretary called me up. Twice, 3 times nag-set na appointment, bago-bago, kinakancel, etc. Sabi ko, ano ba ito? Para kami ni Yoyo. Are we really an important stakeholder in the Darna Undersecretary? And then lastly po, Secretary Casichones calls my raising the issue as to his conviction by a military tribunal to hard labor for the hazing death of the son of General Andres Ramos as malicious. No, it's very pertinent, Madam Chairman, because of the issue regarding character. Kung nagawa po niya sa plea noon, of course, he has been pardoned, but it does not erase that the crime happened. At tinanggap po niya yung pardon eh. It means he admitted to the crime. Yung nga lang, na-restore yung kanyang civil liberties because of the pardon. But character, do you appoint someone with that background to the highest appointed position in the executive branch, cabinet? Again, this character is related to the complaints of the employees. He is accused of bullying tactics, harassing, filing cases against the president of the REA. 4 cases. Kaya hospital pa nga si Madam Pascual eh.
Ngayon, kung magagawa po niya yung bullying tactics na yon, unfair labor practices sa empleyado niya, how much po yung pangkaraniwang magsasaka? Walang unang sa kaalaman, walang organisasyon. Hindi ho ba? It's very pertinent. So, we think it's not malicious. It is very germane and very relevant to the issue as to his fitness, his character to hold the office as Secretary of Health. Lastly, Madam Chair, alam po niyo sa aming buong kasaysayan sa Free Farmers, sa aking pagkaalala, this is the first time that we are coming to the Commission to reject or to ask for the rejection. Yun lang po, maraming salamat po.
Okay, your statements are noted, Secretary Mayor. The last, the poster on our list is Kyle Malaga. Magandang
umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Kyle Balagan. Isa po akong farmer leader for more than 2 decades now. And I am a stout advocate of the National Land Use Act, which is presently lang the same in the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources here in the Senate. Ipapasalamat ako sa House kasi nalikasan nila. Particular, yung provision on the protection land use where irrigated, irrigable, and red-bait areas and environmental critical areas should be protected in perpetuity or perpetual protection po. Bakit? Kasi, hindi ko po alam kung merong alam sa inyo ito, ilan yung total na hectare, na lupa, na tinatanaman natin ng palay. Sa inyo po naman, meron lang po 4.35 million hectares na tinataniman natin. Pagkatapos, out of the, which is 13% of the total land area of the Philippines. Pagkatapos, here comes now Atty. Castriciones during the first confirmation hearing when asked by Congressman Zamora if he's going to push for the moratorium on conversion. And also the question of Madam Chair, whether he's going to implement land conversion. And without batting an eyelash, he said, yes. Without any qualification, as if Section 22 of RA 9700 does not exist. Kasama po ako nung kinraft namin yung batas ng Harper. At masakit po para sa akin na yung lahat, whatever legal gains that we have or we have achieved, it will go down the drain. Because here comes now Secretary, if ever it will be confirmed, na ang conversion sa kanya is parang is a general statement na wala man ang colatilla na yung irrigated irrigable as per Section 22 of 9700 should not be touched. It's not subject to conversion. Wala man lang na sasabihin na teka muna, tingnan muna natin yung mga other areas, okay yan, we are going to implement a conversion. Pero may mga particular areas which are important for food security. Ito yung kakainin ng ating mga susunod na henerasyon. Kung hindi natin iiwan, na hindi natin puprotektahan yung mga lupa na sakahan ng palay, wala na tayong maipapakain sa mga susunod nating anak at mga apo. My presence here right now is dictated by my conscience and my advocacy. Hindi ko naman siguro hindi naman siguro ako papayag na kung ano man yung pinaglaban ko ng 24 na taon at hanggang ngayon ay inilalaban namin, mawawala na lang basta. That's why I even wrote to the President asking him requesting him rather to call for an inventory of all rice land. Why? Because red-fed areas, walang protection under the law. Yung irrigated and irrigable lang ang protected. Ang NIA doesn't even call irrigable lands as irrigable lands. Kino-cover up pa to as rainfed. In short, binibigyan ng pagkakataon na makapag-issue ang ahensya ng sertifikasyon na ito ay wala itong irigasyon na will finally approve the conversion. Tingnan nyo lang yung nangyari sa lupa, sa Lumina Homes, sa Plaridel, Bulacan. Tingnan nyo lang yung sinasabi ni Senator Drilon, yung Sabana Homes sa Iloilo. Yung nangyari naman sa Iglesia ni Cristo dyan sa Bulacan. All of these are rice lands planted to rice. Bigas ang inaani dito. Pagka kinonvert mo to, this becomes permanently non-restorable areas. Hindi po term yun naman niya. What I am saying now is, we have Atty. Casquestiones at the helm of the God. Ano gagawin niya ngayon? Sinabi niya when the time that he was questioned, na ipagpapatuloy niya ang implementasyon ng conversion nang wala man ng kahit anong palatingin. Sino hindi matatakot doon? Ako natakot, kaya ngayon nandito po ako eh. Ang dalawa lang po ang gusto kong itanong kay Atty. Casquestiones, Madam Chair. Ang rice na natin has been raped. And it is being converted until now. If we do not stop, we do not have enough land area to produce our own rice. We cannot say na mayroon pang pagkain ng ating mga susunod na henerasyon pagka ang lupang dapat ay hindi maikukonvert, ay naikukonvert. At yun yung hindi pakiramdam, yun ang paniniwala ko na posibleng gagawin niya because of his general statement when he was asked. So my question now is, nag-umpisa ka sa pata, sa rice land, pumapalik na ngayon ang conversion sa upland. Ang tanong ko lang po sa kanya ay ganire. Yung po ba nandun sa lupa sa Boracay na pinatag na bundok na hindi na po pwedeng ibalik uli ng bundok ay nabigyan ng conversion order o clearance ng DAR? Pangalawa, at kung sakaling ito po ay nabigyan, ihahabla po ba niya yung listalan dahil illegal conversion ang nangyari? Kasi ganito po yun eh. Ang lupa, kapag nilagyan mo na ng bahayan, kahit ano ba yun, hindi mo na uling gawing taniman ng palayan. Kaya ang iniingatan po namin yung conversion of these lands.
Can I answer?
The chair recognizes.
Okay.
Senator, actually, ma'am, I think you need to wrap up already. I think you've made your point and we thank you for it. Senator Villar is recognized.
I just want to inform ka, LB Baladan, na bakit ba lahat ng project ng Vistalan na ang dami-daming nagtayo ng bahay sa Pilipinas, ang dami-daming nagtayo ng industry sa Pilipinas, ang dami-daming nagtayo ng commercial sa Pilipinas. Bakit ba yung binabanggit mo ay puro Vistalan? Galit ka ba sa akin? Is this a political issue or is it a legitimate issue? Yun lang ang gusto ko itanong kay Kyle.
Ito po ay legit issue eh. Kasi yung kung National Lions Bill ay napakatagal na po nito at hindi po nagalaw sa inyong komite. Ngayon, ang sasabihin po na bakit Vistalan lang? Meron po kayong pag-aari na nasa San Jose del Monte, Bulacan eh. Na malapit po doon kami. Kami po ay nasa Barangay Macabog lang and I hope Congressman Zamora would still recognize me doon sa 53 hektarya ng Barangay Macabog ng Lisa. And I love ko lang.
Nasa San Jose del Monte, Bulacan po, hindi po na namin pag-aari yun. Nasa Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. And I think nabenta na nila sa Ayala. So, make sure that your data are correct. Kasi hindi naman maganda na ang dami-daming developer, ang daming mall operator, ang daming puro vista lang yan sinasabi.
Just a reminder to our colleagues as well as our oppositors, please address the chair with your comments and so that there's no direct confrontation.
Madam Chair, ang gusto ko lang pong iparating kay Senator Villar. Yung po yung kung sinasabi niya hindi nila pag-aari yung nandito sa may San Jose del Monte. Ako po ay hindi ko tinututulan yung paglalagay nila ng crystalline o ng kung anumang structure doon o subdivision. Kasi yun po talaga ay hindi taniman ng palay. Please, ang sinasabi ko lang po ay protekta natin yung pinagkukuhanan natin ng pagkain. At kami po talaga ngayon, sinasabi ko na po sa inyo, Senator Villar, kami po ay gumagawa ng isang pag-aaral kung sino-sino po ang mga developers na talaga pong tawag ko nga Pac-Man ng rice lang eh. Malalaman po namin yan at yan po ay sasabihin namin sa taong bayan.
Ma'am, I think you should focus on the issue of
Yes.
appointment.
Kaya meron po akong dalawang tanong kay Atty. Castriciones. Okay. Madam Chair, meron po akong tanong kay Mr. Castriciones and I hope that will be answered. Maraming salamat po.
May we now call the fifth oppositor, Mr. Maitan? Mr. Maiko. Kayo ba'y, hindi ba yata kayo sumusumpa? Please administer the oath to Mr. Maiko.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding, so help you God? Please answer. The oppositor is now under oath now.
Sir, isa pong maikling manifestation.
Honorable Senator Risco, Chairman of the Commission on Improvement, sa lahat ng mga senators and congressman as member of Commission on Improvement. At saka Honorable Attorney John Castellanes, magandang umaga lahat. Ito po sa akin po, nagpupos kami ng yung pinagit ko, position na proclamation of the term appointment of Attorney John Raul Casticiones, Secretary. I am Alexandro Di Maicom, lead convener of Negros Oriental Coalition of PRD and claimants which engage in helping agrarian reform beneficiaries who are victims of the delay implementation of the program under the REC President as amended at Act 1900 from Negros Oriental. Number 2, in 2012 to 2015, as a number of FLOA were generated but without distributing the FLOA nor installed and the farmer beneficiaries to the landholding covered under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program as RE perceived amended as the RE 9700. The following are the state landholding to wait. Di pa lang doon, April, May 10. Sa lahat ng mga nangyayari doon sa implementation sa Carta Negros Oriental, hindi na nag-post-install ang mga paro at maro dahil sa tagal na generate ang FLOA ay walang aksyon. Ang ginagawa namin doon sa Negros Oriental ay lahat self-install. At palagi pa yung mga maro. Bakit kayo ay hindi pa ito formalidad ng institution? Bakit? Dahil sa katagalan na yung mga titulo. Nandito sa Annex natin, Annex A and Annex 2. Manual PBs under the title number T-5894 for lot number 820-B containing the area and 148 hectares with the 81 ERB and barangay Basa. Yung nangyari sa batas natin sa EO to Administrative EOA, nababasa namin kahit kami maliit na kalaman ng edukasyon, nabasa namin bakit yung cease and desist order pabor doon sa landowner na dati na may lupa, dati na may FLOA. Bakit hindi binigyan ng katuwiran yung mga magsasaka na sila lang ang may-ari at hindi pa investor. Yung nangyari, safety namin.
Alam ko itong matagal ng problema na ito.
Yeah.
Kaya nauupo lang rin ng ating sekretary.
Okay.
Hindi naman po basta-basta mareresolve lahat ng
Yeah.
libo-libong
Okay.
kaso. So, lang.
Sige po, sige po.
Susunod na po.
Little bit. Ilmo Commercial Industry and Corporation in title number T-595 containing the area 350 hectares and 336 LBs situated in Barangay Valencia, Bay City, Negros Oriental. As such, the herewith is the said Floa Market Annex B. So, yung nakaraan ng nakaraan ng message na bumaba doon din si Belio. Nag-distribute sila ng mga klowa. Pero yung pinuntahan nila ng municipality, yung Mabinay lang. Yung Mabinay lang sila, doon sila naggawa ng aktibidad na pag-distribute ng klowa. Pero yung distribute nila ng klowa, tagal na to na bigay sa mga tao. The matter of metric of the landholding by Negros Oriental Police and PRBs and Clayman is attached with the market of Annex C containing and the listing of the beneficiaries and landholding with the remark is to what landholding were not installed, landholding they were installed but without support services extended to the beneficiaries. Ang coalition of PRB doon sa Negros Oriental, marami-rami na tayo na tulungan ng pag-confiscate sa mga lupa kasi kanila na ng sarili. Sa kanila na. Pero ang nangyari, hindi pa nabigyan ng support services. At saka, yung mga nabigay na mga lupa doon sa mga magsasang tinulungan namin sa coalition, ay totoo naman, hindi na namin ilihim dahil sa kawala ng support services, nandun na sa ibang mga tao, pinda rin doon. Sa number 3 naman.
Tapusin na po kasi kulang na po tayo sa oras.
Okay. So, sige. Diretso lang tayo sa request namin kay Secretary Casticiones. Sir, dito naman sa number 7, the foregoing events, including the request that made to the beneficiaries to bakit. Yung una, yung na-set install natin ng area meeting. Alam mo na yata sa siya. Nag-continue yung negotiation sa non-owner but with the officer, siluin na lang. Number 8, that the last confirmation of hearing, we are informed that after the members of the Honorable Commission on Appointment request Secretary Casticiones, a question the Secretary Casticiones failure to install the CLOA holders to the land, the Secretary did was to issue special order number 95, shifting back to the process.
Mr. Alessandro, maraming salamat po. Sa tingin ko, masyado na rin nagiging detalyado, technical. Pero nakuha po namin ang sabihin. Halos pareho rin naman dun sa iba, mga nare-resulta. Maraming salamat po. We will give Secretary Casticiones now a few short minutes to respond.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chairman at mga honorable members po ng ating Commission on Appointments. Yung pare-pareho pong reklamo nila laban sa akin ay wala daw pa akong kakayahan at hindi ko po kayang solbahin ang mga problema ng Department of Agrarian Reform. Unang-una po, kung kayo po dadaan ngayon, doon po sa harap po ng Department of Agrarian Reform, dati-rati po nakakampo po dyan yung mga magsasaka. Ilang taon na po sila doon nakatigil sa harap. Noong panahon ko po, 5 araw pa lang, wala na sila. Dahil nag-contact po ako ng dialogo sa kanila, nakiusap po ako sa kanila, at sinabi ko po kung anong solusyon sa problema nila. Umalis po sila. Kusang loob po silang umalis, 5 araw pa lang po ang nakakaraan pagkatapos ko pong umupo. Pangalawa, may problema po sila tungkol sa promotions at saka placement. 6 na taon po silang nagkukumahog, nagrereklamo tungkol po sa placement and position ng mga employees po ng Department of Agrarian Reform. Sa 5 buwan ko pa lang pong kaupo, nasolban ko po yung problema. Kahapon, noong May 25 po, sumumpa po ang mga 527 po na mga employees ng Department of Agrarian Reform. At ang natitira na lang po Region 3, 4A at Region 7. Tapos na po yung problema nila ng 6 na taon, nasolban ko po ng 5 buwan lang. Pangalawa po, yun po kanilang problema sa na pending case sa Court of Appeals na inireklamo po ng co-terminus with the incumbent na almost 1,000 na empleyado. Nasolve ko po dahil nakipag-usap po sa kanila through a dialogue. At ngayon po, wala pa pong kalahating taon, meron na po kami nadidistribute na 70,000 CLOAS na kasing pantay po na na-distribute na CLOA noong 2016. Meron pa po kaming 6 na buwan. Yun po ang mga achievement na nagawa ko. Meron pong 14,000 cases na pending. Nakagawa na po ako ng isang administrative order na kung saan mapapabilis po ang paglulutas ng lahat po ng problema tungkol po sa kaso dahil 14,000 cases po ang pending. At lahat po ng mga problema nila, katulad po ni Sir Sadler na hindi ko po ina-actionan, lahat po ng mga regional directors po ay sinaayos ko po sila at inilagay ko po sa lugar kung saan po sila pupunta. Medyo hindi naman po siguro tamang sabihin nilang wala po akong kakayahan dahil yung problema nilang taon-taon na nakalipas na sobra ko lang po ng ilang buwan. Ngayon po, yung sinasabi po ni Ms. Naret Pascual at saka Mr. Gaite, para maunawaan po natin kung ano yung sinasabi nila na ako daw po ay nag-aharas, nag-union busting. Panoorin nyo nga po itong aking presentation po kung paano pong ugali ni Ms. Naret Pascual doon po sa Department of Agrarian Reform para makita nyo. Ito po yung FASCO building. Ito po, office hours po yan. Sige. Ngayon, biglang nagdesisyon na mag-rally ito si Ms. Naret Pascual. Ayaw po siyang papasukin doon dahil nga po office hours. Pero tignan niyo po ang ginawa niya. Sinarado po yung yung door panel. Ayan. Nagpupumilit po siya pumasok dyan. Ayan o, tignan niyo po. Ayan, nagwawala po siya. Ayan, pinipili po. Oh, binasag po niya isang door panel. Ganyan po siya. Oh, yan. Tapos pumasok po siya doon. Yan. Pinagmumura po niya lahat yung mga security guards. Ganyan po siya kasiga doon. Yan, yan, no? Tapos po, papapasukin natin yung mga tao doon na gusto mag-rally, may kasamang ataol. Yan, magpapasok po siya ng ataol. Bakit niyo po yan?
Sa tingin ko, you made your point about this.
Ayan, ganun po.
Yes.
Ayun, noong April 16 po, ganun na naman po ang gusto niyo mangyari. Nagpagawa siya ng mga crews. Pagkatapos nahuli po ako po, hindi ko po pinayagan. Kasi po yung mga crews na yun, gawa sa mga kahoy na pag-aari ng dar. At pagkatapos po, naglagay siya ng ataol doon, nag-rally siya ng 12 to 1 habang nagmimisa po. Habang may misa doon sa may basement chapel. 4 meters lang po ang distance doon kung saan siya nagrarally. Pinapatunog po niya yung glare ng megaphone. Ganun po sila. At saka doon po sa mismo sa loob ng dark po nagrarally. Bawal naman po yun. Kahit saan po yun. So, basically...
Okay, so you've answered that particular point. Thank you, sir. Next.
Next, yung po sinasabi ni Mr. Parago na... ni Mr. Montemayor po, na hindi ko po sila binibigyan ng pansin. Noong una pong date, na humingi po sila ng petsa para makausap po sila. CLOA distribution po sa Kalinga. Alangan namang ipapriority ko po yung pakikipag-meeting sa kanila, nagko-CLOA distribution kami sa Kalinga. Nung sumunod naman, na nais-reset ng April 24, pupunta po ako sa Boracay para po i-personal survey po yung Boracay na kailangan ko pong inutasan po ako ng Presidente na mag-conduct ng survey para po malaman ma-distribute po yung bahagi ng Boracay na pwede ipamigay sa mga magsasaka po doon.
Noted po yung point na yun ni Mr. Montemayor.
Okay. Yung kay Ma'am Parago naman po, I think it is unfair to discuss, I'm sorry ma'am, kay Ms. Baladan, yung sinasabi po niya na sumagot ako ng basta-basta na oo doon sa tanong kung magko-conversion. The records will bear me out. Ang sabi ko, as in accordance with the provision of the law under Republic Act 6657 and 9700. Meron naman pong requisites po yun kung paano po papatupad yung conversion order. Pagkatapos yung sinasabi po niya na issue tungkol po sa Vista Land po, wala pa nga pong kaso yun. Alam naman po, extensively discuss po natin yung ganong kaso. And at the same time, yung pong issue na yun, tungkol po yan sa isang part ng Boracay, yun pong Sarabia Estate, na yun po, nag-grant po ng conversion order po yun ng DAR. Yun lang po, dalawa lang po yan, yung Phil Estate at saka yung Sarabia. At nung binireview po namin, nanggaling po yata yung lupa na yon, yung dinidevelop po ng Vista Land, doon po sa Sarabia na nag-grant po ng conversion order. So wala pong problema doon kung sakaling yun nga pong issue na nire-raise nila. So yun pong sagot ko. All these answers, Your Honors, can be properly substantiated by the documents that I have already submitted before this Honorable Commission, Your Honors, including all the videos, the records, and orders. So that's my answer, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Yes, Senator Lacson is recognized.
Si Miss Antonia Pascual po ay empleyado ng DAR.
Opo.
Kung nagkataon po na hindi DAREA President ang nandun sa pinakita niyong video at isang pangkaraniwang empleyado na ganun din ang ginawa, ano po yung immediate na action na gagawin po ninyo bilang pinuno ng ahensya?
Sir, palagay ko po meron pong violation ng batas doon, destruction of government property, ng gulo.
Kaya nga po, ang tanong po, kung nagkataong ibang tao at hindi DAREA President ang gumawa noong sinabi niyo nagpasag ng salamin, nagdala ng kabaong, pinagmumura, ano po ang dapat yung ginawa bilang pinuno ng DAR?
Dapat po ipahuli yun at saka ipakulong po.
Bakit po hindi yung ginawa?
Ganito po kasi yun, Mr. Senator, yung po nangyari na yan, nangyari pa po yan ng 2013. Ganun po ang style po ng pag-uugali nila ginagawa na at gusto nila ulit mangyari yan.
Ito po hindi sa inyong panahon. Hindi sa inyong panunungkulan.
Hindi ko po sa panunungkulan po yan. Pero ngayon,
So sa inyong panunungkulan, wala pa siyang ginawang ganyan?
meron po, yung pong noong April 16, may dala-dala po silang nagpagawa po sila ng maraming cross at saka yung ataol, pagkatapos nagrally-rally po sila doon sa harap na po ng building namin na kung saan nagbimas po during that time from 12 to 1.
Pero hindi po magulo.
Medyo magulo po dahil nagbiblare po sila ng megaphone habang nagmimisa po doon sa loob.
Papalitan ko yung aking tanong. Yung ginawa noong April 16, kung nagkataong hindi DAREA President at pangkaraniwang empleyado o empleyada ng DAR, ano po ang dapat yung ginawa noong oras na yun?
Pwede po siyang ipahuli po doon dahil disturbance po yung ginagawa nila at saka disruption of work. At saka nagkikreate po
Hindi
sila
ko
ng
po
problema.
tinatanong kung ano yung pwede niyong gawin, ano dapat ang ginawa ninyo.
Dapat po hinuli po yun.
That's all, Madam.
Thank you for a very good point, Senator Lacson. Actually, tama din yung sinabi ni Senator Lacson at part yun ng leadership. Pag may mga ganyan, ayaw din natin abisado. Pero, ginagalang din natin ang opinion ng ating mga empleyado. Pero, syempre, hindi nila pwedeng, hindi nila pwedeng guluhin ang operasyon ng isang departamento. No? Pwede, they can peacefully assemble. Senator Lixa, very quickly, you wanted to manifest.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. Very quickly, so quick points. Una po, gusto ko lang pong i-confirm yung isang sinabi ni Ginoong Garite na kung mapatunayan itong komite na yung paglabag, pagharas, yung failure to respond to letters at pag-interfere sa union, they would constitute yung paglabag sa ILO Convention 151 na totoo nga nung nakarang Agosto ay niratify dito sa Senado sa ilalim ng pamumuno ni Senate Foreign Relations Chair, Senator Loren. And then also a brief point, Madam Chair, tingin ko mahalaga po yung manifestasyon ni Carlion Montemayor bilang isang kinatawan ng makasaysayang kilusan ng mga magsasaka at mangingisda dito sa ating bansa na tulad ng sinabi ni Ms. Pascual kanina, kauna-unahang pagkakataon ng mga magsasaka, farmer beneficiaries at claimants na nag-effort talagang humarap sa ating komite, sa ating komisyon para ipahayag yung kanilang pagtutol. And then, last but not the least, Madam Chair, yung opposition ni Ginoong Mainicon ay nagtatala din po ng mga ginawa o ginawa ni Attorney Casticiones nung panahon na nila yung pagpapadala ng representante para babakantihin sa mga beneficiaryo yung lupa nung sila'y self-installation, tapos yung hindi pagtugon sa mga mangilang-ilang paghiling sa kanilang opisina na i-install na yung mga may hawak ng CLOA dating back to 2012. And last but not the least, yung pag-issue ni Attorney Casticiones ng Special Order number 95 na parang ibinalik sa simulang-simula, parang nireboot yung buong proseso na kumpleto na, as in, hawak na nung farmer beneficiaries yung CLOA. And very last, Madam Chair, just to manifest once more that Representative Tommy Lerin is also in attendance today, just to embody yung reiteration of opposition that he sent our committee. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Risa. We've already heard both sides. I think that's sufficient. And I would like to ask the Majority Leader for any motion.
I move to terminate the hearing on the ad interim appointment of Mr. John Casticiones, Madam Chair, the Secretary.
Need a
We are going to
clarification.
terminate the hearings already. And we move to terminate so we can go into executive session, Madam Chair. In the yes.
Any objections from the members?
Madam Chair, just a point of inquiry. During the executive session that's being moved for by the Majority Leader, will there be an opportunity to ask for more time for the committee to consider the nomination since there are standing
It is up for the
oppositions now?
It is up for the members to decide
Yes,
during the
thank you,
executive session.
Majority.
Yes,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We will decide in the executive session if there's any continuation for this. But
So again, to the previous question, I move that we terminate the.
on the motion of the Majority Leader, Representative Albano, duly seconded. There being no objections, the Committee on Agrarian Reform hereby terminates the hearing on the ad interim appointment of Mr. John Roalo Casticiones as Secretary, Department of Agrarian Reform. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagdalaw ngayong umaga.
The executive session will commence at 12 o'clock after our last two hearings.
Comelec. Meeting. Comelec please, Comelec. Tawag niyo Comelec. Meeting. Nandiyan ba? Patuloy mo na. Comelec, please, Comelec. Asan yung Comelec? Comelec kasi.
Pau, testing ko. Check. Check. Mic, handled. Wireless pa rin to. Hindi ako makapag-word kasi makakatisod eh. Nako. Saan kaya galing yun? Saan kaya galing yun? Wala na ako ibang pwedeng paglagyan eh. Hindi naman ako pwedeng makakatisod dito to. Ha? Oo nga eh. Okay yung boom. Oo. Makakatisod naman ako pag nag-word ako. Ha? Hindi naman. Ngayon, malinis. Check. Check. Sa tingin ko baka yung mga tumatabing eh. Ayun, dala. Sige, tawagan ulit kita.
Commissioner Inting. Ayaw yan naman po kung pwede Commissioner Inting. Commissioner Inting, wala ka na dito. Hindi ka na makukonfirm ko ba? Wala yung chairperson mo.
Oh, check. Check. Ano pa? Parang may balik ko na. Check. Mag-start na to. Iwanan ko na.
Okay, silence please.
The resumption of the meeting of the Committee on Constitutional Commissions and Offices of the Commission on Appointments in the second regular session of the 17th Congress is hereby called to order. The majority floor leader is recognized to report on the parliamentary status.
May we request the nominee to please take your seat. Thank you, Madam Chairperson. The Committee on Constitutional Commissions and Offices held a hearing on May 23 during the second regular session of the 17th Congress to deliberate on the nomination of Mr. Sherif Narimpam Abbas as Chairman, Vice Andres Bautista. The questions and queries touch on the nominee's qualification, training, and experience, lessons learned from previous elections and preparation for upcoming election, the plans and program of the Commission elections for 2019 midterm elections and the 2022 presidential election, and the Commission on Elections' role in the Bangsa Basic Law, as well as its integrity and competence as a democratic institution. The committee suspended the hearing and thereafter assembled in executive session to deliberate on the nomination of Mr. Sherif Naimbas Abbas as Chairman, Vice Andres Bautista. Such we confirm, said Chairman, Madam Chair. And that's our parliamentary status at the moment. And now we're about to hear Ms. Socorro Inting. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Under consideration of this committee is the ad interim appointment of Ms. Socorro Balinkasay Inting as Commissioner, Commission on Election for a term expiring on February 2, 2025, Vice Arthur Tilly. The chair would like to inform the body that since this is a continuation of the previous hearing, the quorum established last hearing stands. The chair, however, acknowledges the presence of other senator and representative. May we invite Commissioner Inting to take the seat in front. And we may read here now the Secretary's report on the status of the jurisdictional requirements in compliance with the new rules of the Commission and the rules of standing committees and other relevant information about the appointment.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Your Honor. Commissioner Siguro Balinghasay Inting has complied with the submission of the necessary documentary requirements as provided for in Section 24, Chapter 6 of the new rules of the Commission. Her current ad interim appointment was referred by the Commission Chairperson Aquilino Coco Pimentel to the Committee of Constitutional Commissions and Offices on April 19, 2018, pursuant to Section 16, Chapter 5 of the new rules. Likewise, her ad interim appointment was duly published on April 20, 2018 in two newspapers of general circulation and broadcast over PTV4 station on April 20, 2018 as well. Pursuant to Section 2, Article 2 of the Rules of the Standing Committee. Yesterday, May 28, 2018, around 2:30 in the afternoon, a sworn opposition was filed by Attorney Eligio P. Malyari on the ad interim appointment of Commissioner Inting. Today at 10:05 a.m., the Secretary will seek the reply of Commissioner Inting with the said smart opposition. This is all, Madam Chair, Your Honor.
Secretary, please administer the oath to Commissioner Inting.
You raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding, so help you God? Ma'am, the appointee has
Commissioner Inting, you may now proceed with your introductory statement.
Hindi lang.
Good morning to the honorable members of the Commission on Appointments.
Si Philip eh.
I bring to the COMELEC 21 years of experience with the position. And
Kami yan, pre, kami.
I hope to
Kaban yan, Ban? Wala si Philip eh.
be of great help to the COMELEC by focusing
Kasama dito.
on the speedy disposition of cases. So I intend to apply what I have learned from my experience as a trial judge and court of appeals justice. The ways how to speed up the disposition of cases. And in fact, I have suggested to my esteemed colleagues that an oversight committee on the disposition of cases be created and that I be made the chair thereof. That would be all, Your Honor. I am ready for your questions.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Inting. We now call on the oppositor, Attorney Eligio Malyari. And may we ask Attorney Eligio Malyari to come forward and take his designated seat. And we may now request the Secretary to please administer the oath to Attorney Malyari.
Yung mismong speaker.
Can you kindly raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, the oppository is understood.
May we ask now Attorney Malyari to introduce himself and state a brief or summary of the points of his opposition to the ad interim appointment of Commissioner in Chief.
I would like to read for the record my opening statement. A public office is a public trust, and public officers must at all times be accountable to the people. Serve them with utmost responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and efficiently. Act with patriotism and justice. This provision of the Constitution has been, time and again, repeated in our jurisprudence, in speeches, in the media, and others. But is this constitutional mandate appropriately applicable in the judicial life of hearing appointing CA Justice Socorro-P. The answer is in the negative. Not at all times. In my sworn opposition, in the Court of Appeals PNP petition for certiorari, docketed CAGR-SP number 10688, she exposed herself to and committed grave misconduct, gross dishonesty, gross incompetence, gross ignorance of the law, among others, as evident by the following. This. Number one, as ponente, she rendered this 5 December 2012 void decision. Number two, she rendered allegedly on December 5, 2012 the void decision when the spouses Sergio P. Malyari and Marcelina Malyari had already won in all 9 cases involving the same subject matter, lots 364 and 343 of the San Fernando Catastrophe. Number 3, despite the settled doctrines and principles applicable against PNP of no obligation, bar by prior judgments, conclusiveness of judgments, estoppel, lapses, immutability of judgments, dispendence, and admission of his interest. 4. Despite the tendency of 18 manifestations and motions filed with the Court of Appeals in CAGR-SP number 1063 to render the same case moot and academic, filed prior to December 5, 2012, she still rendered as ponente the December 5, 2012 void resolution. Number 5. Despite the indefeasibility and incontrovertibility of certificates of title of Lot 364 issued on February 16, 2012 and Lot 3843 issued on the 19, 2010, she still rendered that void resolution of December 5, 2012 undertaken and effected when all the 9 cases involving the same practice had already been decided with finality in our favor. 6. Despite the true issue that PNP has already zero rights and interest on the slots 364 and 340 of the San Fernando Catastrophe as of 2008, so that the filing of the petition was on January 7, 2009.
Mr. Malyari, sandali lang.
This is the time, Madam Chair. We are in receipt of the documents. We have the summary of allegations and the case background. We also have the document as submitted by Commissioner Inting as her reply to the opposition. In the summary of allegations, it says here, appointed as a pending administrative case before the Supreme Court for cross-ignorance of the law and so on and so on, involving 2 lots, 3664. It seems that this pertaining to the same case that Commissioner Inting has mentioned in her reply to the opposition. And may I invite your attention to page 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraph. On February 21, 2017, the Supreme Court and dismissed the verified complaint filed by Attorney Elinio P. Malyari against the undersigned in IBI, so forth and so on. Now my question is, are we talking of one and the same case here? Attorney Manjari? No, 106838, yung CAGR number.
106838.
So pareho po.
Administrative case po yung sa napay sa Korte Suprema and that it involves a separate issue.
Pero sinabi po rito, dinismiss na ng Korte Suprema yung complaint ninyo against the commission.
Meron po kami motion for reconsideration filed with the Supreme Court, and up to this time, that has not been decided. And we have the further reason that that administrative case, it is respectfully submitted, could not be decided favorably, favor of
Attorney Manjari, could you please wrap up talaga yung opposition mo?
Since pending yung kanyang remarks sa Supreme Court, hindi lang yun. Eh, what if iba yung ating, what if we did not confirm, or we do not confirm Commissioner King, and then we finally did it to the Supreme Court? It's a great injustice to Commissioner King.
Your Honor, may I with this comment? The decision, possible decision in the Supreme Court, it is respectfully submitted, may not be having binding effect because every defense or defenses by Commissioner Inting will be rendered void. Because as of 2008, the defendant Philippine National Bank in that pending case has no more rights, or rather has zero rights and interest on this property.
Attorney, can you just please wrap up? Can you just wrap up your opposition para matapos na tayo? So, we've heard enough. Nakasabit naman yung opposition mo sa in writing. So, mababasa na namin with the answer of Commissioner King. Please, wrap up.
In that way, we submit, Your Honor. I will only read the last two paragraphs of my opening statement.
Kahit yung last paragraph na lang.
Salamat po. Number 9, despite the fact that the spouses Manjari have been in lawful possession of lots 364 and 343 since 1980 up to the present year 2018, or a span of 38 years, and despite the fact that the spouses Elio Manjari and Marcelino Manjari have been paying religiously the property taxes on lots 364 and 343 up to the year 2018, or a span of
Attorney Malyari,
38 years.
thank you. We will take into consideration your opposition, and if we now proceed with the questions of other members of the committee.
You are excused.
Madam Chair, if it's possible, on the complaint of Attorney Manjari,
I
we will make use of
recognize
my colleagues.
Senator Subiri.
Yes, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, we have to take into consideration that the honorable appointee is a former judge of the RTC and the CA. If we take in consideration opposition from all the losing cases, abot tayo ng siyam-siyam yan, daan-daan yan. In the function of her duty as a judge, that's very difficult. Unless there's obvious evidence on corruption and other non-discharge of her functions, that we can take up. But on the losing cases, I don't think that is proper, Mr. President.
Noted, Senator Subiri. Are there any questions from the members of the committee? Okay. Since there are no more questions from the different members of the committee, we can ask now the majority leader to make a manifestation.
Madam Chair, maybe I can make the motion to release the proceedings.
No, you want me to terminate or you want me to move forward with what confirmation?
Because of the need to appoint members of the commission, because of the pending 2019 elections, Your Honor, where we have to prepare heavily for that election, I move to terminate the proceedings and to for confirmation.
So we move first to terminate the proceedings, then after we move to terminate the proceedings, Madam Chair.
Any objection? Any objection? Hearing none, we proceed with the manifestation of our majority floor.
Yes, then I move to recommend to plenary the confirmation of the ad interim appointment of Ms. Socorro B. Intig as Commissioner Elections for a term expiring February 2 to 2025. Vice Arthur D. Lim.
I second the motion.
Is there any objection? It has been moved and seconded that we recommend the confirmation of Commissioner Intig to the plenary.
There have been other matters to discuss on the transfer. I move that we adjourn.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Tapos ang boxing.
Next, is the DOT Secretary present? Pakitawag yung DOT Secretary, please.
Not fair naman the discharge of the duties, not fair. Sana may discount. Okay na yan ha. Filmahan na ako.
Pakitawag ko yung Secretary ng DOT, please. Nasaan yung Secretary ng DOT?
Can we now proceed with the deliberation of the ad interim appointment of Ms. Bernadette Fatima Romulo Puyat as Secretary of the Department of Tourism. The meeting of the Committee on Tourism and Economic Development of the Commission on Appointments in the second regular session of the 17th Congress is hereby called to order. The Secretary of the Commission is directed to call the roll.
Thank you very much. Committee on Tourism and Economic Development. The Honorable Chairman, the Honorable Jerry T. Dueñas is present. The other officers and members of this committee are Villar, Almario, Aquino IV, Ejercito, Gatchalian, Sherwin, Gatchalian West, Hontiveros, Alushos, Lacson, Loyola, Ocampo, Pimentel III, Po, Recto, Salimbangon, Ramirez Sato, Subiri, Zamora, Albano III, Tonasan II, Tolentino, Pangilinan, Cortuna.
With 16 members present, including the chair declares the existence of a quorum. Under consideration of this committee is the ad interim appointment of Ms. Bernadette Fatima Romulo Buyat as Secretary, Department of Tourism. May we invite Secretary Romulo Buyat to take the seat in front. May we now hear the Secretary's report on the status of the jurisdictional requirements and compliance with the new rules of the Commission and the rules of the standing committees and other relevant information about the appointee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your Honor. Secretary Bernadette Fatima Romulo Buyat has complied with the submission of the necessary documentary requirements as provided for in Section 24, Chapter 6 of the new rules of the Commission. Her current ad interim appointment was referred by Commission Chairperson Vicente C. Soto III to the Committee on Tourism and Economic Development on May 22, 2018, pursuant to Section 16, Chapter 5 of the new rules of the Commission. Likewise, her ad interim appointment was duly published on May 17, 2018, in two newspapers of general circulation, the Philippine Daily Inquirer and Malaya, and broadcast over PTV4 station on May 17, 2018 at 6 p.m., pursuant to Section 2, Article 2 of the Rules of the Standing Committees. There is no sworn opposition filed against the ad interim appointment of Secretary Bernadette Fatima Romulo Buyat. That is all, Mr. Chairman, Your Honors.
Secretary, please administer the oath to Secretary Bernadette Fatima Romulo Buyat.
Kindly raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding, so help you God? Mr. Chair, the appointee is now under oath.
Secretary Romulo Buyat, you may now proceed with your introductory statement.
Honorable Chairperson and members of the Committee on Tourism and Economic Development, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Last May 14, I took my oath before President Rodrigo Roa Duterte as Secretary-Designate of the Department of Tourism. It was humbling as it was heartwarming, having been entrusted with a huge responsibility. It is a great role to lead a vibrant industry that promotes the image of the country and supports economic growth. The Duterte administration believes tourism is an important driver of the economy. It is expressed in our 10-point socio-economic agenda, highlighting the promotion of rural tourism. Tourism is a priority sector expected to reduce poverty and inequality. And it is a sector that will find us as a nation proud, protective, and endowed with our natural attractions, heritage, and culture. For the past 2 weeks, I have had the privilege of meeting DOT associates, captains of industry, and government partners. It has not only enlightened but also emboldened us to hit the ground running and make tourism really count in nation building. First, we will faithfully pursue the mandate of RA 9593 or Tourism Act of 2009, which was sponsored by Honorable Senator Richard Gordon. That is a national policy for tourism as an engine for investments, employment, growth, and national development. We will review the implementation of the National Tourism Development Plan of 2016 to 2022 that serves as the roadmap
in developing tourism participated by all regions in the Philippines. We will prioritize improving policies on access, connectivity, and security, as well as enhance programs on tourism infrastructure. We will continue regular consultations with the industry groups such as the Tourism Congress of the Philippines and partners in the legislature and executive branches of government. We will renew our leadership position in global tourism, organizations, and communities, and restart our global advertising and promotion efforts. We will work with the Boracay Task Force, business sector, and local communities to transform Boracay Island into a champion of sustainable and responsible tourism. And we will bring to the table my experience as an economist, educator, and government executive. My advocacy on food, farmers, and farming will play a major part into my full entry into tourism. We will pursue the rollout of RA 10816, or the Farm Tourism Development Act of 2016, which was sponsored by Honorable Senator Cynthia Villar, that will ultimately preserve our farms, increase revenue streams to the countryside, create new markets, and increase arrivals. Honorable Chairperson, members of the committee, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our tasks ahead are plenty, and we remain optimistic about your kind support to tourism. Every challenge will be a chance to effect our contribution to the growth of tourism and the Philippine economy. It will also define our love of country and the Filipino people. Maraming salamat at mabuhay na kami.
Thank you. The appointee is now ready to respond to any question, if there is any. And if there is none, maybe we can now.
Just a manifestation, Mr. Chairman. I may be accused of being biased and a bit of conflict of interest because she's actually my secondary sponsor in my wedding. I've known her for a very, very long time. And I'll tell you, there's one person that has my vote when it comes to being part of government service in terms of integrity and hard work. Is no other than Berna Romulo. And Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, we spent many hours, even as early as 15 years ago, discussing how we can change the system of government and make it really government for the people in efficient delivery of services. That's why I wholeheartedly would like to move for immediate confirmation. I so move.
Is there any second?
Second.
Is there?
Okay.
I just want to make a manifestation in behalf of the farmers and fisher folks in the Philippines. Berna came from the Department of Agriculture, and she has done a lot for agriculture. And there was a time when I told her, why are you in agriculture? You should be either in DTI or in tourism. Now you're in tourism. And she is championing agritourism and farm tourism. So we are very supportive of her. I second the motion, the move of Senator Sabino.
Parang dublurred tuloy.
It has been moved and seconded, and I think there is no objection. Considering there is no objection, the motion is carried. Congratulations also to the father of Secretary Berna Romulo.
I move to be adjourned.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Yung mga sundalo, please, pakitawag na. Yung chief of staff. Yung mga sundalo, please, pakitawag na yung mga sundalo.